everyone, and welcome to semifinals number 2. For me, this was the dream scenario. We've got Snow versus Light. This could realistically be the finals of any tournament these two players play in. Finally, we see Snow making a breakthrough. You know, in ASL, consistently this guy, I have him going really far in the tournament, but never able to break through. So I'm happy to see he's finally going deep this time, already into the round of 4. But he's facing off versus an ASL champion in Light. This guy, so good. Terran versus Protoss. His win rate is ridiculous versus Protoss. He's one of the few Terran players that can actually take down players like Snow. But it's going to be really tough because, as everyone knows, Snow's best matchup, without a doubt, is PvT. And in the Korean scene, he's known as a PvT expert. We're going to get a look at the bracket here. And we see that we have Rush already in the finals, taking down Beast. You know, that series was quite good. There was opportunities for Beast to win even more games than the 2 he got, but he'll be waiting in the 3rd place match. Regardless of who comes through here, we're going to have a great finals, and we're going to have a great 3rd place match. As I mentioned, I think in the last cast, if you're a Beast fan, I think you got to be praying for Snow to get put into the 3rd and 4th place match, because Light, he's going to be tough to beat, man. Terran versus Zerg. And if we want to avoid TVT, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there rooting for Snow, because TVT, not exactly everybody's favorite matchup. So let's get into our maps today, see what the players have opted into. So we've got Polypoid from Light, then Champion, a 2-player map for Protoss. We're not too surprised about that. Then Vermeer, so Terran really sticking to the standard, and Snow with another interesting pick going Jungle Story 2. Then we got Retro, Luna, and Sandstorm. Have we even seen a game on Sandstorm? I can't even remember if we've seen one, but clearly neither player wants to play that. So let's just get straight into the game. We've got Polypoid up first. Everybody's one of their favorite 4-player maps, very standard. I'm excited to see what both players are going to come up with. So in the in the bottom right, we have the one and only, it is Light. And meanwhile, in the top left, is this finally his season breaking through into the final? It's Snow. PvT on Polypoid. With it being Snow piloting the Protoss race, you know there's got to be Reavers here. What else could it be? You know it's going to be some type of Reaver play. Meanwhile, Light, you would probably bet money that it's going to be factory armor. This guy loves to rush his upgrades, but he does mix a decent amount of other builds, such as 2-fact, such as going into a 4-fact, maybe sometimes taking a fast 3rd base. And he does also mix some gasless. We could see that as an opener from Light. Now, unbeknownst to Snow, taking a fast champion, 12 nexus would be the ideal move in this game. And are we going to get it? Because I don't see any probe movement, and he just queued up another probe. That is going to be a 12 nexus. What a way to start off the series. He's letting Light know, hey man, you're going to have to stop me. I'm just going to get away with murder here. It's Polypoid, a big map. To get lucky with crossbones, and that's what he's done. And meanwhile, Light, I think this was a 12 cast. Players have gotten so good at boosting that I couldn't really even tell if that was an 11 cast or a 12. Pretty sure it was 12. And we're going to have the patented 13 Scout. I recently started watching a lot of Light's VODs on his YouTube channel, and he talks about the 13 Scout, and there it goes. And he is going to find, well, I was going to say he's going to find Snow second, but that may not actually be the case. They will intercept the probe. Hopefully Light does not go for an in scout here. If he does an in scout, he will find Snow last, and that's going to be devastating. I still don't think he can really pull here to punish Protoss, but we'll see. Meanwhile, we've got 8 coming down. Now you have a lot of options with Protoss when you 12 Nexus like this. You can power, you can cut a lot of probes, aka Quark style, and go into the 2-gate. And you can just 1-gate and try and hold. Now that he knows that it is crosswind, I don't imagine that he's going to put down a 2-gate. The likelihood of it being a pull is quite low. And it was an in scout for Light. This could not have gone worse for him. He has no idea. Now what can he do to really punish Snow? I think really the only option you've got is to go Starport. You got to go Starport after the command center. Try and hope you can get in there. But Snow has some of the best defense from the Protoss race. He's typically a guy that just builds mass goons, gets into a defensive position at all of his weak points, defends the harassment, and then goes carriers, man. Like, I can't imagine him taking damage here. There is the command center, and I think we had Light going into Fast Vulture. This is pretty much just the go-to standard opener from Terran these days. Get the Vulture out on the map. Whether you get mines out or not doesn't, I mean, it does matter, but the point is to get out onto the map, at least threaten potential run by, threaten mines being placed. Also getting a little bit of scouting intel. And the SCV does, I think, see that there were 2 Zealots before Goon being built. So actually, I think the Vulture could sneak by, but Snow knows that the Goon's not going to be out in time, and he plugs up that wall with the gateway. Really good control right there by Snow, and good game sense to put down the gateway. And that means that the Vulture most likely is not going to get in. With the Goon out, this is going to do no damage. And despite all that great micro that you just saw, really, all it did was knock down 12 health from the Zealot, because he's going to regen those shields. So pretty much a bunch of micro for almost no damage. Now in response, as I stated, you've got most likely a Starport opener if you want to get back into this game, but you also have got a couple of options here. You could just lay mines and take a 3rd base. We've actually got Marines moving out. Okay, I'm not sure if I've seen this before. 3 Vultures, 3 Marines versus 2 Zealots. I imagine the 2nd Goon should be out pretty soon. Can this get actual damage done? And in response, there's the triple command center off of just the mine upgrade. This is very ballsy. And here we go. We've got the engagement onto the Goons, or onto the 1 Goon actually. Mine setup, that's nice. Now the Goon can't really help these Zealots unless he can avoid the mines, which he is going to, I guess. He's going to get a pylon. You know, not the biggest of wins, but at least it's something. It will supply block Snow. However, Protoss sees Terran opened with a lot of mines here. Like a ton of mines. Okay, another good SimCity block. Oh, can he get in? Nope, kills the Vulture, kills the mines. He does lose the Zealots, but he's going to defend this, and he will lose 1 Goon. But Terran lost a lot of Vultures and a lot of Marines. And what I was going to say about seeing the amount of Vultures being built, if I was Snow here, I would suspect it's either Starport or Command Center. I don't think it's going to be a 2-fact. If you're going to be doing a 2-fact, I think you would have built a tank in there at some point. But this is a really ballsy play from Light, because as you saw, he didn't really do much damage. And now you've got Vultures versus a guy that doesn't necessarily have mass goons, but you don't really need mass goons to beat Vultures. However, the Observer just now coming out, the 3rd base is already up and running, and maybe that supply block actually did more damage than I thought, because I thought Light was down 7 workers a moment ago. Now all of a sudden, he's pretty much even. Problem for me is that, you know, he's got Vultures, but what happens if Protoss shows up with Goon Reaver? How are we going to actually damage those units? Not too sure. Now, something to point out is we do have the Cybernetic spinning. I think he already has range, and he has taken his nat gas pretty quickly. So this has got to be for carriers, right? Yep, there's the Stargate, basically already done. So 2-gate. Well, let's bring it back a little bit. 12 Nexus, Robo Observatory, 2-gate, 3-gate into instant Stargate carriers, and Protoss or Terran has no idea. He has no academy, never got a Vulture in, doesn't have a starport to run a dropship in. So he's going to have to guess on the fly what this actually is. At least he did rush Armory somewhat quickly after his opener, so he will have the good upgrades. Supplies are dead even, I can't even believe it. Versus the 12 Nexus, how do you do this? Protoss in response, taking their own third Nexus, make that a fourth Nexus. His third Nexus is basically gone, so he's going to get that up and running. And actually, what I thought was a great opener for Protoss, Terran have recovered really well. And as long as he can get some type of sense on what this tech follow-up is, even though I imagine Protoss will get up to at least 4 carriers, I think Terran's got a chance here. I think he can hit a timing before Protoss gets absurdly high in the carrier count. Maybe go for a killing blow. We do have the first 2 carriers on the way. Protoss does see the flood of factories. It is going to be 5 fact follow-up. I think you got to go for this when you open up with a triple command center like this. If you were to go into Starport, into a fast science facility, I don't think there's really any way you could hold a potential like 8-gate bust. And with you playing in the dark, you have to respect all the options that Protoss has. So right now, not much going on as both players just power up. We've got triple Comsat coming down, and Light's going to see what I would consider the bad news, and that is carriers already on the way. I like the mine placement in the main, making sure that if there is a Reaver drop, he's set up, and he will see that carriers, they're already being built. I guess that's a third Stargate at the bottom. And Snow, is he gonna take a 5th base? 5 bases may be overkill. I don't know if you need 5 bases this quickly, especially when 3 of your bases already have gas. Snow sitting pretty with a good worker count, 68 workers. Forge done to start his own +1. That's really good. And Vultures are going to move out, but like I was saying, Protoss, or Snow I mean, has some of the best defense with his goons. These Vultures really shouldn't do anything really other than force Protoss to move his goons around. We've got the first couple carriers out. I think I saw a 3rd one being produced right now. Didn't see the 4th and 5th one blinking just yet. But 2 carriers, is that all you need? He's got 8 gates, I think, as a follow-up. He could do some type of weird combo where just go with 2 carriers and mass units on the ground. I didn't actually see a Citadel anywhere, unless I missed it. So speed should not be on the way for a long time. And because there's also no Citadel, I don't think I saw an Archive either. And there's the triple Stargate, so we're going to be going up into 5 carriers pretty soon. You can see Goliath already being ramped up in production. Supplies are in favor of Terran, which is just so absurd to me. We've got the first engagement with the carriers, almost pops the tank. The Goliath got a little bit too high right now. 10 supply lead for Terran, but I would say that's not really that impactful going up against carriers. I can see the carrier player overturning that lead very quickly. Now, Terran, because the supply is so high, and because he rushed his factory so quickly and got his starport so late, this could just be a 1-1 timing. I don't think he can really wait around for 2-1 power spike. The carrier count would be way too high at that point, and that's exactly what he's doing. We've got Vultures leading the way into a lot of goons. Well, actually not as many goons as I thought. He's sieging up a couple tanks at a time. He wants to bully his way into the 3rd base. The Zealots are already dead. This is a killer push. There isn't an overwhelming amount of Goliath. My opinion of Goliath versus carrier is you need to have at least 3 Goliaths to 1 carrier. And we're sitting at about 10 right now, 10 Goliaths. So this is an okay number. Maybe a little bit low, but overall, pretty decent. But you gotta keep in mind that these are snow carriers. This is not your typical ladder player with the carriers. Okay, now he's attacking on the high ground. I don't know about this move. And Goliaths are in the front. He cannot lose the Goliaths. Who's else get on top of him? Tank splashing him. Goliath, and he's got a Vulture rally, so he may be able to kill the ground, but he's not going to be able to kill the air. Goliaths are fizzling out. Now got 3 Goliaths versus 4 carriers. This is not looking good for Light. He did end up wiping. Oh, no, he didn't. I was going to say he ended up wiping the probes, but I don't think he did. I think he just evacuated the probes. Still got Snow sitting at 73 probes. Remember that 10 supply advantage for Terran? All of a sudden, 40 supply deficit with the ultimate air comp carriers in the air. I think that's 6 carriers, man. It's starting to get really scary. Light in full-on panic mode, double expanding to mid-right and top-right, praying that he can get one of them hidden and up and running. There's the 1-1 power spike that I was talking about. I don't think he can really recover from this. He doesn't have 3-2. Carrier count's already insane. If he maybe had like triple starport hiding Cloaked Wraith, maybe? But there's no way he can support that on 2 gases, right? Oh, this looks like it's going to go in favor of Snow here for game 1. 40 supply deficit versus 6 carriers already. That's just almost impossible to come back from. Carrier's going to start the engagement. Whittle down that Goliath count. Already 4 gone. 5, 6. Oh, I don't even really see the interceptors dying that quickly because they're because the Terran's still on just 1-1. Basically, every Goliath here gets killed without doing any damage to the carrier. And I imagine GG should be coming out pretty soon. There goes the eBay. Can't even spam turrets anymore. 7th carrier. He's not even using his goons. He doesn't even need it. GG comes out, and we've got game 1 heading Snow's way. Well, that was a good follow-up from Light there. I thought he transitioned well. He clearly caught up in Econ very well. But the lack of the Academy really hurt him. I think he went probably about as fast as he could despite that. What was it, a 5 or 6 vac pretty much immediately? He had a 1-1 upgrade timing. He hit when Protoss was only at 4 carriers, but I think what we saw at the end of his attack where he had that Vulture cycle running in, if those were Goliaths, first off, I still don't think it would have worked, but at least he would have had the ability to contest the carriers a little bit better. Either way though, Snow played really well. Let's get into game 2. We've got a 2-player map. It's going to be Champion. And in the top left, down 0-1, we've got Light. And in the bottom right, we have our Protoss. It is Snow. And of course, there goes that probe. And it is a very quick probe. Scout on 5. This could be something like a 7-7. I've seen enough games from Snow to know that that's in the repertoire. But I don't think this is going to be a 7-7. I think this could just be forward 9-gate maybe. We do have the additional probe queued up. That means it is not going to be 7, of course. And there is the pylon. The forward gate in the natural. Light is very diligent about scouting for moves like this. The reaction is most likely going to be him scouting at around like 12 or 13. Go into a double racks as a follow-up to make sure he can take down the gate. Forces Protoss to build an additional gate in their main, you know, maybe a forge even. Start going cannons to just defend the double racks. So even though it feels gross as a Terran player to build 2 raxes, Protoss also has to commit a lot of minerals. So you can find solace in knowing that, hey, Protoss can't just, you know, build a nexus and go about their day as if everything's normal. Now, gas steal was kind of late, actually, 135. Light may already be tipped off that, hey man, you gas stole at literally the last moment. Where'd all that money go? Why were you so mineral starved to put down that gas? But he's actually not scouting for it. I'm surprised. Okay, there we go. There's the SCV. Oh, No, okay, he already knows. Like I said, man, the gas was so razor thin. Terran could have gotten up an 11 gas easily. So the fact that Protoss waited that long to put it down, he knows that, hey man, there must be a forward gate, and he's right, and he's going to see it right here. Now, because of how fast this Rax was without even having to scout, I actually think Light's in a really good spot. He's going to have so many Marines so quickly, he's going to put on a lot of pressure. The first Zealot is already here, though. That is a damaged SCV. Definitely don't want to lose that. Ooh, good micro right there. Using both barracks to move in between with that Marine. Oh, jabbed him. And he knocks one down, and that's a really nice pickoff. You really want to get up to like 7 Marines ASAP. That's when the Marines really start dealing a lot of DPS. So to eliminate one of them already, really nice. Ooh, where are you going to go? Getting into an awkward situation. Okay, actually really good control. Good control to save that SCB again. I see in Snow's main, he's built a second gate. He's also gotten his gas. Meanwhile, Light still no gas just yet. Really just focusing on building up that Marine count and generating minerals. Ooh. Oh, he may have moved out a little bit too quick. That's 3 Zealots, dude. He's trying to body block. But the Zealots get on top of 2 of the Marines. One of them gets taken down. SCV falls. Cannot lose more Marines. Cannot lose more SCVs. There's another one that gets jabbed down. So Protoss doing a really good job to keep this Marine count in check. 3 Zealots still just holding the line. 6 Marines, 1 more cycle of Marines, and the Marines will be doing okay. I guess they're doing way more damage. Didn't realize that those 2 Zealots were already really softened up. Oh, great SCV block. He gets all of the Zealots. And now, this gateway is under threat. The way the gateway is positioned, the Zealot's going to pop out at the bottom. No, he popped out on the left side. That was kind of lucky there for Snow to end up getting that additional Marine. Gateway's going to die. And we've got Snow just sitting on a single Zealot. Cybernetics is not done. Obviously, range is nowhere near done. And we're going to have a nice counterattack, I think. Maybe. Or maybe we could just start or stop building Marines and build a command center. And that is going to be what's happening. We built a command center before the pylon dies. Maybe a little bit quick on the gun to do that. If he hadn't have built the command center immediately, Snow may have been worried about it being a potential, SCV Marine pull. But not going to be the case this time. We've got 2 Zealots moving across, trying to deal with those 6 Marines. I want to know what this probe is up to at mid-left, because this really does look like it's going to be a 1 base. Can we have maybe proxy DT? Proxy Robo? No, it is just going to be a Nexus. But he has a ton of gas. 400 gas. Pros are obviously well known for balancing their resources. He must have something sneaky planned. And that pylon at mid-left, I think, could be proxy DT, proxy Reaver, maybe? Based on the opener, the factory's going to be a little bit delayed. I actually think this might be DT drop. What's it going to be, man? Robo? Okay. As a non-Protoss player, I've always wondered, why don't people play proxy Robo, go into Reaver? But I actually hit it on the ladder maybe about a month ago. And despite it being like a 1 base Robo and it being proxied, it still just wasn't quick enough. Like a lot of Terran players these days, they put mines in their main. So even if you don't have a high tank count, the mines can buy you a lot of time. I don't know how well this is actually going to work out. We'll see though. It is Snow with the Reaver. So, this guy can literally make magic happen. Oh my gosh, is the barracks going to see the probe at the mid-left? Well, the probe sees the barracks. Not sure if he actually saw the angle of that probe. But if he did, he may already suspect that this could be hidden Reaver tech. We had an attempt to do something with these 2 Zealots and a couple goons, but already denied. I didn't actually see the support bay in the main. Is that it right there? Okay, of course, it had to be support bay. If it was proxy robo into observatory, I'd be losing my mind. Now, Terran's actually in a good position. They got the command center up faster than Protoss. Protoss had to respect the counterattack potential, which is why you saw him build more zealots. And that means his Nexus is a little bit later, so that Protoss is actually down workers right now. That's always a good position for Terran. And we've got, I think, maybe a 6 Marine, 3 tank move out? Could be. Just yet. Armory has a follow-up, no shocker. Oh, it's a 3-fact. So it is going to be a lot of tanks, rallied vultures. I think he's waiting for 5 tanks and then he's going to go. And rallied vultures. However, he's going to be hitting right when Protoss is going to be going for the Reaver drop. We're going to get into a weird situation for both sides if these tanks start moving out. So far, okay, there we go. I was waiting. I was like, dude, are we going to go or not? So it was not 5 tanks. It is going to be 3 tanks, 6 vultures, 5 marines. But Protoss has the Reaver. And the Reaver is already halfway across the map. And in the main, there are, I don't think, any turrets. If there are mines, there's very few. Oh, I guess Protoss realized that he... Oh, can he hold this attack? Definitely not with 3 goons. Reaver out of nowhere. Nice shot. Got 2 tank hits right there. Ooh, he popped 1 tank. If he can get another tank, that pretty much just nullifies the attack. There's just not going to be a lot of firepower with just 1 tank. But he ends up not getting the 2nd tank. Reaver is going to start moving into the main now. Ooh, opening at the natural. There are no turrets, not a lot of mines. Unloads the goon. Oh! Just pulled that mine in so the Reaver can get the killing blow. See a turret. SCV's being pulled. And there's the counterattack that I was talking about. Now this is still going to be a really hard push for Protoss to stop. Ooh, Goliath pops out. But the Reaver didn't unload on that mine, which is critical. Tank was siege mode. I didn't realize that he already had siege. And he is right on Protoss' doorstep right now, man. This SimCity prevents Protoss from actually engaging. Actually, got barracks landed at the choke point. Limits the amount of damage, or it limits the flow of the goons. Oh, the tank's too far forward. He's gonna lose one of them. There goes one. Oh, he's actually in range of the 2nd tank. He loses all of his tanks. Oh, look at that control. Really nice. Moves back. Takes no damage to the mine. He held the push. I'm not sure if he actually lost his Reaver. It didn't seem like Protoss did crippling amounts of damage. But all he really needed to do was not die, in my opinion. Because that looked like a killer push from Terran. We've got Protoss building another Nexus at bottom left. Terran scaling into their factory count. I think this puts him at 5. And Light is just trying to flood Snow. He does not want to let Snow get into carriers again. This guy just doesn't lose when he gets to carriers. And Reaver into the main finds another opening. Can he get a lucky shot off? The answer is no. We'll get a couple of SCVs for his time, but not that many. Oh, the control is just so good from Protoss. Snipes a tank from downtown. And now he's just going to run away. Gets a vulture. I was gonna say he almost gets another vulture, but this mineral line is still not mining. This is getting really bad for Light. He's about to be not mining because the Reaver's coming into the natural. Reaver unloads. Oh, he picks up at the last second. Okay. Actually, I didn't realize that those tanks had just popped out at the natural. I thought that we were gonna have Reaver on SCV murder action. Another Scarab is going to die, but he's still buying a lot of time with this. This Reaver's going to die. Did get off a lot of damage onto the tanks, and the Dragoons are just all over the place. They're going to pick off these tanks in the back, I think, if they can catch them. Sieging up in desperation. But remember, those tanks are low because they took a big Scarab shot. Oh, I thought that was a Reaver in the shuttle. Takes down the shuttle, but he's going to lose all of his tanks, and the Goliath, and the Marines. Oh no, he doesn't lose all the tanks, but he does lose all the Goliaths, loses all of his Marines, and you can see how ineffective the mining is for Terran. Having to transfer back and forth between his main and natural, he's just now going to get his main back up and running. Meanwhile, Protoss has been scaling their gateway count up to 6. Still has the Robo, obviously. Didn't actually catch to see if he had Citadel. I don't think he does. But either way, we're starting to see the supply gap get a little bit higher. Okay, I take that back. I was going to say the supply gapping up a little bit in favor of Terran, or of Protoss, I mean. But that tank count is massive. What's it at 6? And if you can get rid of this Reaver or Robo Bay, that'd be great. Looks like the Reaver already died. That means no more Reavers, no more shuttles for Snow anymore. And that's obviously a very important building for Snow. Oh, there's a Reaver in the main of Light. He just lost like 15 workers. The Reaver shuts down the main again. This guy's everywhere. Meanwhile, we've got more action with the Vultures versus the Goons. Really good control once again. I don't think there's enough Goons to contest these tanks. Ooh, good SimCity right there to make sure that the Vultures can't get in. He's gonna lose all of his Goons. Oh, he picks off another tank. That's nice. Now just at 3. Man, this is just non-stop action everywhere. Light desperately trying to make some damage, whether it's at the 3rd or the natural, but he just can't get effective damage that Snow's getting. These tanks are going to get reset again. There goes one of them. All the Vultures are going to die. You know, actually, we could see just GG, because Light has lost so many tanks, and he's got to keep tanks in his main to just defend the Reaver. Like, he can't prevent Protoss from taking their side of the map. Down 40 supply now. Man, this was brutal. Turret trying to just get rid of this Reaver. Is he going to really unload? No, he's not going to unload. So Light's going to continue to try and play it out, but this is, I would say, pretty much unrecoverable. You can see that he's not even building SCVs in his main or natural, because he can't afford to build SCVs. He knows that the only window of opportunity for him to exploit is a timing. So he needs all the units he can possibly get. Protoss is actually building another Nexus. So if we factor in the 400 minerals there, and we factor in the fact that Protoss is up 30 workers, you know, army values are actually quite close. But if Light wants to attack, he needs to go within, I would say, the next minute or so. Cannot let this 4th base get up and running. Oh no. Those look like Nyoken tanks right there. Why are half the tanks going at the top side and half going at the bottom side? However, those are definitely not Nyoken Vultures. Those Vultures are not scared of these Goons. They deal a lot of damage. Took down a couple of Goons before losing really any Vultures at all. Still a 35 supply lead for Protoss, but oh my god, 22 kills on that Reaver. That's absurd. But this is a fearsome army for Terran. Another shuttle out, another Reaver. I don't even know where that one came from, but I guess he rebuilt the Robo in his main. Another good shot there. Hits a lot of the tanks. Gets a Vulture also, and this has got to be all she wrote. There it is. GG. And we've got 2-0 for Snow right now. The hero that you can see right there at the bottom of the screen. Reaver, 23 kills. Devastating amounts of damage. And if you're Light here, what do you do at this point? What do you do? The guy went 12 Nexus first game. Forward gates you the second game. He had the perfect response. Didn't even scout the forward gate, and you knew it was there. You go 2 racks as a follow-up. You got a fast command center, better econ, and he picked you apart with Reaver, man. What can you actually do versus Snow? I have no idea. Let's get into game 3. Our 3rd map should be Vermeer. Going standard again. Big map. I think that's smart. Do not want to play a 2-player map versus someone like Snow. And again, he is going to get cross spawns. We've got Snow in the top left and Light in the bottom right. Hopefully, for Light fans, he can scout pretty quickly, because I think we could see 12 Nexus again. Of course, Snow doesn't realize that he is cross spawn. But even if he wasn't, I think with how well the 12 Nexus went on Polyvoid, we could see it one more time. As I mentioned, Light does do gasless a decent amount of the time. think Vermeer's a pretty good map for Gasless. So we could also see him going for an eco opener. Again, boosting those workers. You know, you can just get so much. You can get your building so much faster in the beginning. It is very important to boost your workers. I've seen factories as fast as like 2 minutes 20 seconds off an 11 gas. To give perspective, I would say before boosting was a thing, maybe 230, 228 was like a normal timing. People have really gotten really diligent and really have optimized to the extremes in all the matchups. And there is the 12 Nexus again, by the way. Snow. This has got to be so tilting for Light, right? Like, you play the first time you run into a 12 Nexus, massive eco. Second game you run into not necessarily an all-in, but definitely an aggro play. And now you run into an eco opener again, and what can you do to punish it? He's going for the normal 13 scout timing, but it's cross spawn, and he's likely gonna end scout again, and we're gonna get into another situation of what do you do to actually deal damage to Protoss? Are you gonna try and just accept your fate that you can't damage them and go for triple command center again? I think triple command center is a move that you can really only do once before Protoss just starts, you know, microing their goons with observers and just punishing you for it. So I don't think we're going to see triple Nexus this time. If I was a betting man and Terran finds this 12 Nexus quickly, I actually think it could be Starport. Now, will he end scout is the real question. Remember, they intercepted each other on Polypoid, like, the exact same way here, and it was an end scout. And unfortunately, it's going to be an end scout again. And that means Light is going to be in the dark for a long time versus this 12 Nexus. He doesn't have anything. I don't think he can pull versus this. It was a 12 gas. I don't think he can run a vulture into his main and get damage done. He's just going to have to play from behind here. Nexus already done. We're even in workers, but that's going to gap up quite quickly. Probe doing a good job to spot for the Marines. Actually, we have 4 Marines. Okay, he must think that this could be some type of pressure, but we know that that's not the case. The probe wants to get in and see what is actually going. Oh, that was good body block. But he's going to see a 5th Marine and a Vulture. Okay, wow. He was just going for an FD the whole time. 5 Marines, a single Vulture. He suspected that it was going to be another 12 Nexus, and we've got a full-on commit. We've got the SCV pull. I think that if you were going to pull for this, I think this is as good as it could possibly be. He never cut Marines at any point. He has vision of the mineral line, and he's continuously built Vultures also, and Marines. So here we go. This is make or break. He does have a decent amount of SCVs mining, so maybe he can actually transition out of this. But in my opinion, I think Protoss can even just sack their Nexus and be fine. The SCV has been spotted, so the gig is up. Ooh. Oh, he's drilling for the main. Like, he's just going for the throat. He wants to end the game here. Now, finally, not drilling. Oh, he gets a couple of probes. That's nice. Knocked down like 3 of them. This Nexus is 100% dead. I don't think this could possibly ever be held. But Protoss saved a lot of their workers. There's no longer... Okay, is he really going to bulldoze his way in here? There are zealots here, dude. Oh, it forces probes to come out again. That's lost mining. More probes being mowed down. Like I said, this Nexus is going to die 100%. So getting any amount of probes here is fantastic. You can see actually Terran's up in workers now by 3. That's a considerable amount of workers. Now, of course, he has like 5 workers not mining right now. But that's fine, because he can just send these back, or he can just hold and repair the bunker forever. And we've got tanks on the way. There is still no command center for Light. There's the mine upgrade. I was wondering if he had it just yet. Oh, a goon falls. He might actually get these 2 goons on the left side. There goes the Nexus. They're way too weak. But he at least got 1 goon. Doesn't really need the Vultures. He did as much as he could with him. Now he just needs to hold his bunker as long as possible because, as I stated, there's still no command center. But being up 4 workers for Terran, that's nice, actually. 4 goons versus 3 SCVs repairing the bunker. I would make that 5. Okay, he's not going to be able to hold. He needs to evac. He's trying to micro, but I think Snow's pretty much just focused on the bunker, so that's going to die. Command center coming down. Yeah, mines need to get set up. Oh, he actually kills a goon. I can't believe he killed a goon. How are those SCVs repairing that bunker versus 4 goons? You're gonna have another engagement. Can he get another goon? Dude, he might get another goon. He gets a goon. He might get another goon. He gets two more additional goons. Oh, he wants that 3rd one. Oh, he's gonna sack so much for it. He's gonna lose 2 SCVs for that. That was worth, though. I think overall he killed like 4 goons throughout this entire battle. Definitely worth. In response, we've got Observatory, Robo Observatory, I mean. Nexus coming up. And we do have mines being situated at all of the 3rd bases. Mines at the natural also. Smart play from Light. And we may actually get into a late game here. I was not expecting Light to just continuously build Marines and have a pushing power like that, but it was surprisingly strong, despite it being cross-spawn Nexus first. Now, in response, wow, just like Champion, going into a 3-fact follow-up. No eBay just yet. No mines in the main either. I guess it's a little bit too early for fast Reaver off of a 12 Nexus, especially when you see Protoss having built this amount of Dragoons. But something to keep in mind, because I think last game also his eBay was later than usual. He ended up getting the turrets almost on time, but the Reaver still got in. So that will be something that we need to keep in mind. Goon's doing a good job to clear out those mines, take no damage, and he is going to set up for a 3rd Nexus at mid-left. Now, unlike the Polypoid game, there has been no nat gas taken for Snow. Of course, he's taken a lot more damage this game compared to the first one, but not banking a lot of gas. And that signals to me that if we do get to mid-game or late game, this is not going to be a carrier game. However, that pylon at the top right side of his base does look like a carrier type of pylon positioning, like a Stargate pylon. So we'll see. But so far, it really does look like we could see something like Arbiters or Templars, in my opinion. Now, meanwhile, just like on the Champion game, we've got 3 tanks, tons of Vultures, and Light is on the offensive again. And unlike Champion, Light's actually got eco lead this time. He's up in supply by about 10, which is actually pretty huge in Terran versus Protoss. There's no Reaver this time either, it's just Goons and Observers. Without the Reaver, the Vultures can body block for a long time, and the tanks can pretty much go uncontested, really. It's going to be really hard to engage on top of these tanks, especially when there's 4 of them. Still no shuttle just yet. Actually, that is a Stargate at that pylon on top right. This is the balls removed from Snow. And we do have an engagement here. I don't know if Snow can actually hold this. Okay, he's actually whittled down a lot of the Vultures. There's not really a lot of support for the tanks anymore. Like, you may have overstepped your bounds, despite having the 3 factories. There's just not a lot of support for these tanks. First tank falls. Can he get another tank? Of course he can, man. These are Snow Goons. Takes down 2 tanks. The Vultures have done almost no damage. They did not get a run by in. Didn't kill any probes. He's gonna lose all of his tanks. How does this happen? And now, he's going Stargate as a follow-up. Took no damage. Oh my god. How does he do it? How does he defend like this? He just transfers a probe. He just does a probe transfer in Terran's face. Like, yeah, dude. Doesn't matter if you got Vultures. You're not gonna do damage to me. This is just unreal. Unreal. And Terran committed a lot for that. That was 4 tanks, or 5 tanks. Tons of vultures. Terran still has good eco. Like, let's not deny that. He's sitting at almost 50 SCV, so his eco's rolling. But he skipped Academy for that. He has no idea what Protoss is doing. All he sees is Mascoon. Protoss could be doing anything. So just like Polypoid, we're going to have a late scan. He's going to have to react on the fly to this. This time, he's going to have a later third command center. He's at least going to have big eco. But just like on Polypoid, definitely not going to have 2-1 unless somehow this game doesn't end by 15 minutes. Maybe he can get to 2-1 if the game delays. But by then, Protoss is going to have like 6 carriers. I don't know if you really want to fight 6 carriers of snow. He desperately needs to scan this and just flood like 8 factories and pray that he can hit a timing. But the first 2 carriers are on the way. I saw 1 Goliath coming out, but he's going to need a lot more of them. Supplies are 20 in favor of Snow. Remember, it was 10 in favor of Terran just a minute ago. Now it's 20 in favor of Protoss, so a big swing there. Tons of goons for Protoss also. Like, the majority of his army is just goons. I think we only have like 1 zealot right now. So if there is an engagement before carriers hit critical mass, tanks should just shred the ground army. Like, goons are just really not great. So Snow is waiting for critical mass to happen, and I would say that happens at around 6. The longer that Terran sits here, the happier Protoss will be. 4th Nexus coming up for Snow. Also saw a Forge in the main of Snow. Hopefully that's upgrading +1. That is a 3rd Stargate, so pretty much the identical opener as Polypoid. 12 Nexus into a lot of Nexuses as a follow-up, a lot of goons, straight 3-gate carriers. And in response, we're having the same opener from, well, not the same opener from Light, right? Because he went triple command center on Polypoid, but sort of the same response, just a big factory flood, no starport. I think he's at 7 facts now, maybe 8 facts. If he does have a starport, it's like just now finished. And the problem for him is 2 carriers are already out. And I still haven't heard a single scan go off. We're going to have an engagement in the center of the map, it looks like. Mass goons plus 2 carriers versus... Actually, that's a lot of... That's 9 tanks. A lot of... I don't think Protoss can fight here, right? Okay, smart move to back off. But hey, 2 Goliaths versus 2 carriers. Who wins that? Anybody know? I think that if we had live feed of Light's camera right now, he would not be happy. He would be doing the typical sitting back in his chair, sighing at this because he has no answer to the air. Just like on Polypoid, he did a vulture cycle. There's no way he could have known. And now it's 2 Goliaths versus 2 carriers. Carriers are going to kill both the Goliaths. These tanks aren't even retreating, man. This is just free supply. Goodbye, another tank. He's gonna get another tank. So he just picked off 4 tanks, 4 Goliaths for free. He's gonna get the turret. There's 6 Goliaths now, and as I was stating, 3-to-1 carrier to, or 3-to-1 Goliath to carrier ratio. I think it's okay, but the problem is he just lost like half his tank count. So now, I think the ground army will just win. There's so many goons. If I was Snow here, I would just go. Just jump on this guy. This guy, his ground army is weak. There he goes. Mass goons on high ground. 3 carriers. There's just way too many goons. And we may see another GG any moment now, unless these mines do catastrophic damage. They did a decent amount of damage, but not enough. And that's game 3, heading over Snow's way. So we've got a 3-0 on our hand versus the best Terran versus Protoss on the planet. Snow is just crushing him. I'm speechless, man. I was expecting at least the series to be something like, you know, 4-2, 4-3 maybe. But Terran can't even get a point on the board. This guy is killing it today. So let's just go into game 4. I want to see if Snow wins it 4-0. These games, they're just not close. They're close in like the early stages, right? Like micro battles, the pushes look strong. But once it gets to mid game, there's just a clear favorite, right? Like the comps are just better, the engagements are just better. The goons are picking off tanks left and right. There's just no point in the game where I'm sitting there like, yeah, this was a good trade for Light. Like, it's just not happening. So we got horizontal spawns this time. Top right, we've got Snow. Top left, we've got Light. Maybe this time, finally, Light can get off a first scout and not get punished by a 12 Nexus. I actually think that we could see 12 Nexus again, but if I was Light here, and I thought it was a 12 Nexus, I would just BBS, like just get it over with. But Jungle Story, with it being a high ground natural, you know, it kind of plays similar to Tempest, which we have in the map pool right now. I think this is most likely going to be forward gate, but not going to be. It is just going to be pylon in the main. I really did think it would be a gateway at his natural and just do pressure and then, you know, have high ground advantage right there with your zealots popping out on the top, and you can put a battery if you need it. But not going to be the case. Just gonna have a normal pylon, and I think this pylon, at least to me, looks like a not a 12 Nexus pylon. And there is the gateway. So finally, we're gonna have a normal opener. No shenanigans with forward gates, no 12 Nexuses. And I wonder if Light will actually 11 gas this time. I think we've seen 12 gas all the previous games. 11 gas gives you that faster vulture. You can punish a 12 Nexus with the additional vulture. You know, you can do it faster with the quicker vulture. I mean, you can pull faster. You can not pull. You can just try and get damage done with your, you know, 5-6 second faster vulture than usual. And those 5 seconds really do matter. Vultures can rack up a lot of damage in 5 seconds, as every Protoss player knows. Now look at this. You will not scout me, sir. That is not going to happen. Looks like he's gotten away. Ooh. Okay, Snow doesn't care about scouting. He just wants this SCV to not scout. And he at least has pushed him to bottom left, which is great. Not going to find Protoss first. He may not be able to actually get back to his base with this SCV, because the Protoss can just hold the ramp here. Well, hold the ramp is not the right word, but like, you know, get right up to the SCV, and as he comes back towards the ramp, yeah, get on him like this. This thing is dead. He is gone. Goodbye. Oh my gosh. Merciless. First Zealot on the way. If this was me, just as an aside, I'd already be out of this game. I'd be already tilted about losing my first SCV, not scouting. And, oh my, are you real? Okay, he is going to let him in. Thank you. Thank you for having some sort of mercy here, Snow. At least let Terran scout to see if you're getting range or not. And he will see that it is going to be a no range expand. Zealot acted like he was going to poke in, but ends up thinking otherwise and will back off. Oh my gosh, he kills the SCV with just a probe. Okay, so Terran in the dark again. Pulls off SCVs because he has to just hold his entrance. I hope this is a Citadel. I hope this is a Citadel follow-up. I don't think it is, but I hope it is. You've gone Robo every game. Just throw in a Citadel game now that you've denied the scouting. Instead, it is just going to be range. No Citadel just yet. He's got 200 gas. So to me, it's going to be another Robo play. Vulture's out of position, man. You got to come back. Oh, man. He's doing an FD again. Okay. The Vultures and the Marines will hold the high ground. Should be wary of something weird going on, because why do you have so many Marines and so many Vultures? And we've got another SCV pull. I don't know what he drilled to. I think he must have drilled onto the mineral patches and like... Oh, it looks like they're not drilling. And he's only pulling 3 SCVs. Okay, an interesting attack here. The Vulture gets caught. He's going to lose it. He did kill a pro, but that goon is pretty much full health. And now we've got 3 Marines, 1 Vulture, make that 1, versus 4 SCVs, or 3 goons versus 4 SCVs, 3 Marines, and 1 Vulture. And I don't think that this is going to do anything. He gets 1 goon. Pro's being pulled off. This was a disaster. He's lost all of his Marines. He really can't even load anything into the bunker. These goons, he just taps out. That was full on tilt mode. I can feel Light's pain there. You lost both of your scouting SCVs. And you were just getting brutalized in the previous 3 games. Like, I don't fault him for making that move, because he was just getting blasted all day long. But what a game from Light. What a game from Snow. What a series. Like, this guy just crushed it today. And these games, they were not close. I think the last game just epitomizes how the day went. Like, he just blasted Light so easily in every game. Maybe the only real threat, I would say, was the champion game, right? Where the tanks actually got into siege mode at the Nexus, but they sieged up too quickly. Or too close, I mean, and got picked off. But other than that, I guess maybe the only other scary moment was the big SCV pull plus push on Vermeer. But after holding that, everything just went his way. He picked off so many tanks, and he gets the win 4-0, man. Like, it was just complete domination. And I'm excited to see finally Snow breaking through here, because he's just so good. Like, when you saw the bracket, right? If he can't win this tournament, I just can't see any other tournament that he could win. Like, it's all Terrans. Like, it's his best matchup. And for him to just bulldoze Light here, I think we're finally seeing the true colors of Snow and seeing the potential of him, that maybe he's just got nerves offline, right? Maybe that's why he can't transition into a victory in the ASL, because clearly he's got the skill. Playing online, I mean, has he lost a game in the round in this tournament? I mean, in like the round of 16, we just 4-0'd Light. We 3-0'd Snow, right? Or 3-0'd. We 3-0'd Royal, and then we only lost 1 game to Sock. So think about that. Out of the top Terran players, he went 7-0, Royal and Light, versus Sock, who's, I would say, a tier below, but is on fire these days. He only lost 1 game, so he went 9-1 versus Terrans. And funny enough, in the finals, he's got another Terran. And I don't think you can really bet for Rush in that series, just based on how Snow's playing. This guy looked unstoppable. I think Rush really is going to have to come up with something special to beat Snow, whether it's going starport play and trying to test his multitask, or, you know, maybe doing something crazy. Maybe go Marine Medic and hope he didn't go Reaver. I don't know. But clearly, like, the standard play, the tank Vulture play, the pushes, they just didn't work at all. It just never happened. I was a little sad that Light never went into his upgrade style, because I think that's his best style. But there was just no opportunity for him to go for it. Like, the build orders from Snow were just too good in the beginning. So that is going to be it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We, of course, have our final and 3rd place match coming up soon. We've got Rush versus Snow in the finals, and then we've got Beast versus Light in the 3rd place match. I think both those games are both those series are gonna be great. You know, Beast has done really well this season, really pulling out some surprising upsets. The fact that Light got 4-0'd here, you know, maybe Beast can, you know, take advantage of Light maybe feeling a little down and out about his performance. But I'm very excited to see Rush versus Snow. Hopefully Rush can come up with something special, because Snow just looks like he's the man to beat this tournament. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the finals.